Did you go to the movies as a kid? And if you did, were there any films or actors that were particular favorites or influences for you?
Sure, yeah. No, I definitely, movies had a hold on me really early. I guess maybe theater even earlier, but from theater I got into movies pretty quickly, and fortunately my parents were both kind of they were lovers of theater and film and opera. They were amazing. So I used to watch a lot of Sunday movies with my dad. We would kind of flip through and see what was on the Sunday movie, and he would kind of show me his favorites. My mom would show me her favorites. So I definitely had a relationship with movies when I was young, and it shifts when you're really young. I think of course there's the Star Wars experience we all had, and which was really notable. You know what I mean? That was really a really memorable experience for me. I remember I remember those ships unfolding out of the top of the screen and rolling down the screen at this big theater in Baltimore called the Senator. My brother and I were really little, and we got our mom to drive us all the way in to where this big old Art Deco movie palace was, and they showed Star Wars there, and it was really like seismic experience for us, because we were like, it was just this idea that that the fantasy could take place on that level was amazing to me. But probably early on, I really absorbed like the movies that my dad loved. Things like The Magnificent Seven and The Dirty Dozen and The Great Escape, and I would say for me, growing up, as I got older and really started kind of looking at movies more avidly and seriously, I think Woody Allen's films had a big impact on me, mostly just because of their inventiveness. It seemed like he was doing anything he wanted to do. Like you watched other movies and they followed a very predictable kind of a form, and his were some of the first that I went, you can do that, you can talk to the camera, you can throw a piece of animation in, and that was very liberating to me. De Niro and Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino and Robert Duvall, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, a lot of that. And I mentioned those people. I mean, of course, like Meryl Streep too, and Ellen Burstyn. A lot of those people influenced me. But in the men, I think the reason those actors, apart from the obvious that they're now acknowledged as great, for me, I never, as I was coming up, and I never really saw myself, as a some sort of magazine cover person. Those actors really changed the value system. They made the idea of being a character actor seem like the most cool thing that you could do. They were the ones who made me think that's what's really intense, is not being a movie star, but getting down and chewing into these characters in a really intense way. And so I think for me that was the generation of film actors that I came up on that really influenced me a lot.
Well, many of those guys they go around and are constantly labeled or referred to as method actors, and I think you've also been referred to as that. Is that a label you embrace, and what does that mean to you? What is
Not so much. I mean, I think it's a term that's really lost its meaning, because back in the day, not to get too academic, but back in the day, it was something very specific to Lee Strasberg and this one school of thought about using your own emotional memories as the source of your kind of your work and your inspiration. It's come to be used in this very generic way for anybody who kind of absorbs themselves into a character, and I think it's so generic that it's like everybody's a method actor now. It's like I don't really put much in that. I've always, in fact, actually, for people who really study acting stuff, I always related more to Stella Adler's whole embrace of, and Stella was Brando's great teacher and was one of Bob's great teachers, and she was very negative on the method. She was like, she always said imagination is the most important gift, and I actually related to that a lot more.
If you had to sort of step back and analyze yourself as I'm sure you often do, but publicly, as an actor, what would you say, and setting humility or anything aside, what is your greatest strength as an actor, and maybe what is the thing that you feel you most would like to improve as an actor?
It's the opposite. Like, I only get asked to talk about acting in public. I never think about it at all in private. Like, never. I don't know. I think that some actors. There are different kinds of actors, and I'm talking about good actors. Like, there are actors who I think are not very plastic. You're not gonna they're not gonna bend themselves into a lot of characters. They maybe aren't gonna stretch that much, but some of those actors are very iconic. There are actors who are great actors, but who we go to sort of for the same set of qualities again and again and again. And I definitely do not think I'm one of those. Like, I don't really look at myself. I don't think I function very well that way. I think I function better as a. I think probably, for me, it's always been sort of about an ability to mimic or empathize with something that's very different from me, and my interest is usually in things that are very different from me, and I think I play that role better. I think I played sort of the role better of layering a lot of stuff over me and becoming, sort of shape-shifting a little bit. But I think that it interests me more too.
I think, and I wonder if this is connected, I get the sense that, did you see where I put my actual recorder is going? I don't know where it is.
Did you put it?
No, it's here. Sorry.
There you go.
It's going here as well. But I've been at enough film-related things that you've also been at that I've seen how you understandably do not like the celebrity aspect of being a well-known person. I'm sure it gets very annoying, and to have your privacy impeded upon, and I just wonder how you reconcile that, and I guess you could ask this to any well-known person, but I think that you seem to be articulate about this particularly. I've read other stuff that you said about, you have to reconcile the fact that you're putting yourself out there for public consumption in a way, that's how you get to do what you do, but on the other hand, this comes with it. How do you deal with it?
Well, I think I put it a slightly different way sometimes, but I think you're right. Like, I think it's a little bit disingenuous for anyone to get into this field and then, like throw it a really intense stiff arm. You know what I mean? There's fair and there's fair, and it's like, and I think that one of the distinctions I think you've got to make is that, like, it's not, you have to believe and embrace that you're not doing this for yourself. Like, you've got to believe that you're doing it for other people. The joy of it, or the privilege of it, should be like that you're trying to do for other people the same thing that art does for you, and that movies did for you, which is like connect. It's like the E.M. Forster line, like in Howard's End, he says connect. It's like the whole theme of connection, and you are trying, at best, you're trying to, like, represent something or say something that other people are going to see themselves in and feel like, yeah, that's so good, that's my experience, or that makes, or you want so there's a difference when what people are bringing back at you is an appreciation for that's great. Like, I think that's really special, not to be taken for granted, and I don't ever feel negative at all about people in, writing letters, coming up to you on the street, whatever, and saying, man, like, that really did it for me, or thanks, or I loved that, I just wanted you to know. I'll never get cynical about that. I think that's, like, completely what it's all about. And I really appreciate it. I think that obviously in our culture, like we've shifted over into, there's something else going on that's got a lot to do with celebrity for its own sake, and